All right, welcome back. And now we're going to talk about the list processing algorithm, section 2.2. Now, until now, we have been creating schedules by guess and check, which works well enough for small schedules, but would not work well with dozens or hundreds of tasks. To create a more procedural approach, we might begin by somehow creating a priority list. So the definition of a priority list is a list of tasks given in the order in which we desire them to be completed. The priority list may be imposed on us due to clients' needs or the priorities of our company. Once we have a priority list, we can begin scheduling using the list processing algorithm. And so the list processing algorithm follows these 4 steps. Step 1. On the digraph or priority list, circle all tasks that are ready, meaning that all prerequisite tasks have been completed. And then 2, assign to each available processor in order the first ready task. Mark the task as in progress, perhaps by putting a single line through the task. 3, move forward in time until a task is completed. Mark the task as completed, perhaps by crossing out the task by putting another a double line through it, right? Or like a crossing it out, right? Mark the task as, mark them as such. And then step 4, repeat until all the tasks have been scheduled. So this is what we're going to follow. So in our example that we did before, right? So from example 1, the converting of the gasoline car to an electric car, let's look at this digraph. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is list our priority. So with 2 processors, okay, using this priority list. So step 1, right, needs to be completed. So step 3, 1, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And then step 6, right? So 1, 2, 3, or excuse me, 1, 3, 4, and 5 are all, they have listed with no prerequisites, right? And then task 6, right, has 1 prerequisite, well, actually 2 prerequisites. Okay, so this list here, so, okay, let's start with this. So time 0, right? So these are the tasks that are ready, the ones that are circled on our priority list. Okay, these are the ones that are ready. Okay, we assign the first task to the first processor, processor 1. So this will go to processor 1. And then this task will go to processor 2. Okay, and so what we would do is we would then mark these as in process, okay, or in progress. Okay, and how much time will those take? Those will take 2 hours. Okay, and then after the 2 hours has passed, then we'll prioritize the next 2, right? We'll assign the next 2. So this is what we have. So here, right? So just so we can see what we've done. So here's the list, right? And so what do? We're scheduling these, right? We're scheduling them. So the first 2 tasks are for 2 hours. So notice how in our schedule, this is what we have blocked out so far. Okay. Then after 2 hours, we'll assign step 4. We'll cross off tasks 1 and 3, and then we'll assign 4 and 5. Okay. And so now that we've got that scheduled, now we assign what? Task 4 to processor 1, task 5 to processor 2. Okay. So task 4 will take 1 hour, task 5 will take 2 hours. Okay. And by the way, notice how we circled task 2. Why is task 2 circled? Well, if we go back up to our diagram, task 2 is ready when task 1 is finished. So if we look here, task 1 is finished, so task 2 is circled. Now task 2 is not in progress yet because we have to finish tasks 4 and 5 in our priority list first. And so they're in progress now. And so we've got our schedule worked out as such based on that. Now, what happens at hour 3? Well, once hour 3 comes by, now task what? Task 4 is complete, so we cross it out, right? Task 5 is still in progress. Okay. And now what happens is what happens now. Now we schedule the ready progress, right? So now task 2 gets assigned to processor 1, right? Because it's finished. Processor 2 is still working on task 5, so task 2 gets assigned to processor 1. And that's going to take a half a day. So now we've got this. Now at this point, nothing is ready to be worked on. Okay. So what happens after 3.5 days? Well, let's look at our diagram. So right now, tasks 6 and 7 cannot be done until what? Task 3, task 3 and 2 have to be completed. But task 2 will be done before task 3. So inevitably, task 6 and 7 are waiting on task 2. And by the way, task 8 can't be completed until task 5, which also takes 2 hours. Okay, which is what is being worked on right now. Okay. So the thing is so there's some idle time that we can see in the schedule, right? Okay, so now, and that's it. Now, let's see here. Where were we? Okay, so here we go. So now processor 1 has completed task 2. Completing task 2 causes 6 and 7 to become ready. Okay. And now, once task 2 is done, processor 1 can start working on task 6. Because all that was needed to start task 6 was tasks, here we go, where is it at? Task 3 and 2. Task 3 and 2. Okay. And 3 is here, and 2 is here. So now we can start working on task 6, which takes a half a day. And so task 6 is in progress. Task 7 is ready, but we can't work on it because we have to work on task 6 first because that's the priority list. Okay? And then that's going to be a half a day. So now what happens? Well, we have our schedule here. After task 6 is done, now what happens? Well, now we're at the end of task 5. So 7 and 8 are ready, right? So both processors complete their tasks. The completion of task 5 allows 8 to become ready. So we're going to assign task 7 to processor 1, task 8 to processor 2. So now what happens is we have these are done, right? So these are done. I think this is a typo. Okay. So task 8 is ready. So here we go. So 7 and 8 are in progress. And let's see, let's look at our diagram. So 8 is ready. Task 8 is ready. Yeah, so 7 and 8 are in progress. Let me see here, hold on. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, and this one's already complete too. So there we go. Yeah, so these are in process, right? In progress. And then the only thing that's left is 9. Okay? And 9 isn't ready until 6, 7, and 8 are done. And so when 7 and 8 both take a half a day, let's go back just to verify. Yeah, so all these take a half a day. So they'll get done at the same time. And then so finally we have 9 getting progress after here, and that'll take 1 day. So we'll get done in 5.5 hours, 5.5 days. Okay, and that's how you use the algorithm. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and just make sure you follow that. So we'll get some practice in there. Okay, so now let's do this. Here is our priority list. Now again, they're giving us the priority list. And what we want to do is we want to create a schedule using 2 processors and this priority list. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to use the whiteboard. So let's get the whiteboard set up. Okay, so let's, hold on, I want to see this one more time. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. So straight line. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to do this a little differently. So we got, one. Oops. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what do we got? We got 10. Okay, so 10, 10, 7, 4. Okay, so 10, 7, 4, 9. 10, 7, 4, 9. And then we got 5, 4, 13, 4. 5, 4, 13, 4. Okay, so let's look at this for a second here. I'm going to, again, do it on the whiteboard is a little more difficult. But keep in mind the process that we just went through in the example, okay? So let's look at processor 1 and processor 2. Okay, so the first task we'll assign to the first processor. So that's going to take 10. And the second one is going to go to the second processor. Okay. So this is going to finish in 7 hours. So when this is done, I'm going to assign task 3. Right, so these will be in, okay, hold on a second. Let's look at the digraph here. So 2, okay, so 1, 4, and 7 are ready. 1, 4, and 7 are ready. So let's go back to this. So 1, 4, 7 is ready. So we're going to do 1, 4, and 7 are ready. So let me, oh boy. Okay, so, oh, here's the eraser. So let's erase this. Okay. So we'll do 1 and 4. Okay, so this is going to be, we're going to assign 1 and 4. And so this is going to be 9. Okay, 10 and 9. And so now what happens after hour 9? Well, then we're going to assign 7, task 7, to there. So I'm just going to go through the process, right? So now this is going to be 13 hours. Now I'm doing it a little bit differently than what the video does, just because I'm working on a whiteboard and it's a little bit more difficult here. So this is going to take 13 hours. So now I'm going to mark task 4 complete, and I'm going to get started on task. Oh, actually, hold on a second. What's ready? Let's look at the prerequisites again. We want to make sure we look at the prerequisites. So here, task 4 is going to get done. And then once task 4 is done, task 5, oh, hold on. So task 5 can't be, yeah, so we can't do anything. So there's going to be some idle time here. So how do we want to do that? So task 5 can't be done before task 7. So task 7 is going to have to get started. Yeah. So, yep. So we'll get, so yeah, I'm correct. Okay. So we're going to get started on task 7 because, so task 7, right? 13. Now, after the 10 hours is up, what becomes ready? Well, what becomes ready is task 2. So I'm going to assign task 2 to processor 1. And that's going to take 7 hours. So here we go. So we've got 7 hours. So we got 10 and 7 hours here. So that's going to take 17 hours. And then we've got 21 hours here. So what's going on? So this is going to take 7 hours. Right, so task 2 is now in progress. Task 7 is in process. So what's going to happen is after 17 hours, task 2 will be complete. So task 2 will be complete before task 7. Okay, so now what happens after task 2? Well, then task 3, yeah, it looks like we're not going to be able to work on anything until task 7 is done. Because task 5 and task 8 can't be done until task 7 is finished. So there's going to be some idle time. So let's go back. So what does this mean? It means that until task 7 is done, we're going to have some idle time here. So I'm going to say, let's see here, there's 17. So we're going to have, I'm just going to write in here, we're going to have 5. We're going to have like 5 hours. I'm going to put an I here of idle time. Okay, so that means 10, 17, so that's 22 and 22, right? Like so, okay? So now, what happens? Okay, well, what happens when task 7 is done? Well, let's look. When task 7 is done, tasks 5 and 8 become ready. So tasks 5 and 8. So I'm going to assign tasks. So tasks 5 and 8 become ready, right? That's tasks 5 and 8. Yes, tasks 5 and 8. So now I'm going to assign task 5 to processor 1. Oops, I circled the wrong one. Hold on. Task 5. Oops. And task 8. So I'm going to assign task 5 to processor 1. That's going to be 5 hours. And task 8 to processor 2. So that's going to be 4 hours. Okay. So now this task 8 is going to finish first. So what happens after task 8? Let's look at this. So after task 8 is done, task 9 will become ready. So let's circle 9. And I'm going to assign task 9 at that point to processor 2 because he'll be free. He'll be ready. So now that means task, oh, I didn't, hold on. Forgot to keep crossing off. So at this point, which tasks are completed? 1, 4, 7, 2, 1, 4, 7, 2. So 1, 4, 7, 2. And now 8 is complete. Okay. And so task 9 was assigned, right? Just want to make sure. Or no, not task 9. Yeah. Yeah, task 9 was assigned. Right, good. So that's in progress. And then after 5 hours by processor 1, he's going to complete, or she is going to complete task 5. And what becomes available from after task 5? 3 and 6 become available. Task 3 and 6 become available. So now I'm going to assign task 3 to processor 1. So that's going to be 4 hours. Come on now. Okay. Now, so let's see what happens here. So at this point, processor 1 is going to finish oh, hold on a second. Right. So processor 1 is going to finish task 3 before processor 2 completes task 9. And so I'm going to end up, so once task 3 is finished, let me check again. So what happens when task 3 is finished? Well, after that, we're going to assign the last task. Task 6 is now is ready, so that's going to be assigned. Oh, I should have circled the 6 before. Okay, so if we look at, let's do it this way. So I'm going to put, so this was task 1, and this was task 4, okay, and then we have task 2, and this was task 7, okay, and then we had our idle time, and then after 22 hours we had assigned task 5, and task 8. Okay, and at this point, let's see here. We have 1 and 2 are done. 4 and 7 are complete. And 5 and 8 is in process. Okay. And then task 8 is going to finish first. Which is then going to allow task 9 to be ready. Which is going to be assigned to processor 2. So this is task task 9. And then once task 5 is complete, then task 3 and 6 will be ready. So now this is where I made my mistake. So now I'm going to assign task 3 to processor 1 at this point. Hold on a second. Why is... Hold on. Yeah, so for task 8, 8 will finish first, so then task 9, and then once task 5 is finished, task 3 will be assigned. Yep, so this is task 3. Okay, so now what happens here? Task 3 is going to finish before task 9. So we'll finish that one. And then task 6 is ready and will be assigned to processor 1. So this is going to be task 6. And that's going to be 4 hours. Okay. Now, after these 10 hours are done, there's going to be nothing else for the this processor to do, right? So that means that there's going to be 5 hours of idle time, right? So actually, let's do this. Hold on, just so we can better see it. Let's do this. I'm going to move this over. Okay, so this will be, oh, how did I want to do this? Not sure how to write this out, but if I do task 6, right, there's going to be, yeah, I'm just going to say it. So task 6, 4 hours. And so basically here, when this guy gets done after 10 hours, there's going to be 5 hours of idle time. Oops, gosh darn it. For processor 2. Okay, so what do we end up with? We end up with a total amount of finishing time is going to be what? It's going to be 10, 23, let's see, 23, 33, okay, so the least amount of time, let's see, it's going to be, let's see, let's see, this finishes up, yeah, 22, 32, so 36 hours it looks like. Okay, so let's go back and see how we did. Oops. Oops, wrong one. Ah. Yeah, it looks like 35 hours. Okay, so here are the answers. Okay, and again, compare with what I did, but this is the way you want to do it, right? So you want to set it out your task time like the way we did it up here. So let's go back. Okay, so here it is, and that should be it. Um, sorry it took so long. Let's go back. I just want to make sure that we did this right. So we've got, so here, this took a total of, this took a total of 22 hours. So there's 22 hours here. And then this took 10 hours. So nine, actually it was limited by this because this guy was sitting. So here, so we've got 22 hours here and then another 13 hours here. So yeah, 35 hours. So we did it right. So I came out with the same answer that they came up with the book. All right. If you have any questions, just let me know. But that ends this section.